Members of City Council, honored guests, staff, and citizens of Oakwood, I am proud to proclaim that Oakwood, with a population of 9,202, continues to be the premier residential community in the Dayton and Miami Valley region. Why? Consider this. Next month, we will celebrate the grand opening of Lane Stadium, a multi-purpose athletic field and track facility at Old River Sports Complex. Oakwood City Schools and the City of Oakwood and the Oakwood Athletic Boosters worked in collaboration to create a $4 million asset to benefit hundreds of Oakwood student athletes and others in our community. Incredibly, under the leadership of Chris Eifert and many other Oakwood residents, about 250 donors contributed over $3.7 million to fund this project. We salute the generosity of major donors Doug and Gay Lane and look forward to the dedication of this facility next month. We also thank the City of Dayton for their assistance with zoning issues and the University of Dayton for ingress/egress to our site from the north. Their cooperation was instrumental to the success of this project. We must also recognize that this project would not have occurred without the contribution of Alan Rensler, formerly of Oakwood Investment Group. His efforts in 2006 enabled the city to acquire the Old River Complex from the NCR Corporation. Unfortunately, Mr. Rensler unexpectedly passed away in 2015. We have outstanding diversity in our housing choices. Although much of our housing stock is over 70 years old, our homes and properties are better maintained than any other city around, and our home values prove it. In 2016, 81% of Oakwood home sales were higher than the county appraised value. Everyone knows Oakwood has great schools, in fact, the finest public schools in the region. Our Oakwood schools are consistently rated in the top 1% in the state of Ohio. The Washington Post named Oakwood High School one of America's most challenging high schools in 2016. For an unprecedented 5th year in a row, the Oakwood High School Academic Decathlon team are national champions. This scholastic competition is unique because the team is tested in art, economics, language and literature, mathematics, music, and science, and participants are in judged events in speech, interview, and essay. They competed with teams from the United States, Canada, China, and England. Congratulations to all the students and their advisor, Lori Morris. We also welcome Christy Hale as the new director of Wright Memorial Public Library. For 77 years, they continue their mission to provide high levels of efficient, friendly, and personal service, and to foster an atmosphere of intellectual liberty in the American tradition of free ideas. The city services offered to Oakwood residents are unsurpassed. We continue to provide weekly backyard trash collection, year-round curb collection of yard waste, fall leaf collection, and spring mulch delivery, and sidewalk snow removal. We were honored as a Tree City USA for the 34th consecutive year. Our Johnny Appleseed program has planted about 3,000 trees in Oakwood since the inception of this program. We commend the efforts of our Public Works Department and our horticultural staff in the Leisure Services Department. Formed in 1927, our Public Safety Department is the second oldest consolidated department in the United States. It is unique because all our officers are cross-trained and state certified in law enforcement, firefighting, and emergency medical services. Our first officer on scene response time for any emergency is under 2 minutes, by far the fastest in the region. Our fire engine response time is 4.2 minutes. The national standard is 6 minutes. Our medic response time is 3.3 minutes. The national standard is 13 minutes. Oakwood has the lowest crime rate and fire loss in Montgomery County. Where else will you find in a community of 2.2 square miles the parks, gardens, and green space found in Oakwood? We offer 3 neighborhood parks, Schaefer Park, Orchardly Park, and Fair Ridge Park. Our natural areas include Loy Gardens, Elizabeth Gardens, Halk Stream, and Centennial Park. Our recreation facilities include the Oakwood Community Center and Gardner Pool, the dog park at Krieger Field, Irving Field, Old River Sports Complex, Mac Hummons Stadium, and now Lane Stadium. Oakwood also features beautiful public gardens, including Smith Gardens and Francine's Gardens. In 2016, we agreed to assume ownership of the Hollinger Memorial Tennis Center with its clubhouse and 7 clay tennis courts. Oakwood's strength is its people. Our citizens are leaders in industry, education, medicine, and the arts. Please consider some of the events in which our citizens participated in 2016. In May, about 380 walkers participated in the 15th annual Breast Cancer 5K Walk. Since its inception, the event has raised over $200,000 to support a cure for breast cancer. That day in May, sponsored by the city and the Oakwood Rotary Club, continued its tradition of the pancake breakfast, 5K and 10K runs, community parade, games, rides, refreshments, and displays. The successful Oakwood Farmers Market reopened on Saturday mornings from June to September and featured home-produced and gourmet food items and works of local artisans. The market was recently recognized by Dayton Magazine as the best farmers market in the area. In July, Oakwood City Sister Association welcomed our sister city of Outremont, Canada, to celebrate the 40th anniversary of our twinning. The past 5 years have been financially difficult for our city and local governments across Ohio. In 2012, the Ohio General Assembly broke its 75-year covenant with local governments by taking for itself sales tax revenue previously reserved for cities, villages, townships, counties, and school districts. The General Assembly also eliminated the business tangible property tax reimbursement and the Ohio estate tax. Together, these actions reduced our annual revenue by about 20%. In December 2015, the General Assembly passed additional legislation benefiting certain taxpayers by eliminating their local tax obligations. When fully implemented, we expect this legislation will reduce our revenue by $250,000 annually. It is apparent that the Ohio General Assembly is no longer our partner in providing services to the citizens of Ohio. In addition, 20 surrounding communities have increased their income tax rates over the last several years. Because we give a 100% credit for taxes paid to other jurisdictions, for an Oakwood resident working in Kettering, where the income tax rate is 2.25%, Oakwood only receives 0.25% of the 2.5 total taxes paid. In 2005, the city of Moraine increased their income tax rate from 1.5% to 2%, and in 2014 to 2.5%. An Oakwood resident now working in Moraine now pays no income tax for Oakwood city services. The Moraine elections reduced Oakwood 2016 revenue by $124,000. The cumulative effect of all these income tax rate increases by surrounding cities reduces our revenue by about $450,000 annually. In 2016, the city of Dayton increased their income tax rate to 2.5%, and the city of Centerville increased their income tax rate to 2.25%. Their tax increases will result in an additional $360,000 revenue reduction in 2017. This situation is not sustainable. Because of the sound judgment from this and previous city councils and revenue from the now repealed Ohio estate tax, we have municipal facilities that will support our city for a generation or more. We own the Old River Sports Complex. We made Sugar Camp and Point Oakwood infrastructure improvements with no adverse impact to Oakwood City Schools revenue. We reduced city property taxes in 2008. We had no city property tax increase for 22 years until 2013. We have not raised city income taxes in 32 years, and we have no outstanding debt. Our actual expenses went down each year between 2009 and 2014. Our citizens pay less for water and sewer than most people in the Miami Valley. Through retirements and productivity improvements, we have reduced our city staff by 12% since 2004, with no reduction in city services. We made our refuse program self-supporting by reducing expenses and increasing the monthly refuse charge. We established a stormwater utility to account for the cost of this program. We increased fees and reduced expenses at the Oakwood Community Center. In spite of our prudent fiscal management, we may need to ask for additional revenue in 2018. If needed, we will openly discuss this issue with our community. I am confident our citizens will support the recommendations or actions of City Council. Because it is a well-established fact that local government is the most accountable and responsive government, we represent you and will see that our city provides the services you believe are important and necessary. And in doing so, we will prudently manage the resources our community provides. City Council thanks our community for approving our property tax renewal levy last fall with a 72% affirmative vote. When I joined City Council in 2003, it was my belief that Oakwood was well-governed, well-managed, and financially strong. I still hold that belief and will continue this tradition. I would like to thank the citizens of Oakwood for allowing me to represent them as a member of Oakwood City Council for the past 14 years. I would also like to thank Oakwood City Council for allowing me to serve the city as mayor for the last 7 years. I also serve as vice president of the Greater Dayton Mayors and Managers Association. With council's approval, I will serve as president of the association in 2018. I am proud to serve with Vice Mayor Steve Byington, who begins his 10th year on City Council and represents our city on the First Suburbs Consortium of Dayton and Miami Valley Regional Planning Commission. I'm also proud to serve with Rob Stevens and Ann Hilton, each of whom begin their 8th year on City Council, and Chris Epley, who begins his 4th year on City Council. This council, like those that preceded it, operates in a collegial style, and everyone believes in doing the right thing for the citizens of Oakwood. We listen to one another, no one has hidden agendas, and we believe in community service. The excellent services provided by our public safety, leisure service, and public works departments would not occur if not for the leadership of City Manager Norbert Klopsch. He is recognized throughout the region as an outstanding city manager. He is also blessed with a fine group of department directors, including Deputy City Manager, Personnel Director, and Zoning Official Jay Weiskircher, who has served our city with class and distinction for 34 years. A special mention also belongs to Carol Collins, our Leisure Service Director, who has served our city for 42 years. With the help of City Council, city staff, and the citizens of Oakwood, we will continue to be well-governed, well-managed, and financially strong. Thank you again for the opportunity to serve you. And that is the State of the City address.